Yo, what's going on, guys? It's me, Top, and in today's video, I'll be going over the best settings for Chapter 2 Season 3 competitive players. So yeah, let's get right into it. So for the display, graphics, and just all the video settings, obviously go full screen at 1920 by 1080. Your frame rate, your FPS cap, I recommend capping it at your monitor hertz. So if you only have a 60 hertz monitor, cap it at 60. If you have a 144 hertz monitor, cap it at 144, and then so on and so forth. 240 hertz, you cap at 240. This is my recommendation. However, obviously, you guys don't have to listen to me on that, as it doesn't really affect you. However, it can decrease input delay. Brightness, after the recent update, you guys can turn it back down to 100%. I know some people were turning it up to 125% or even 150% because of the old nighttime. It was really dark, but they updated that. Color blindness mode is all personal preference. Obviously, if you're colorblind, you're going to want to turn it on to the color blindness that you are. However, I keep mine off just for content-wise and streaming-wise, and obviously colorblind strength is also personal preference. Quality presets, custom, unless you, I guess, want a quality preset. View distance, epic, pretty much it's a necessity to be your view distance to be an epic. It's good. There's no reason for it to be on anything other than that. Shadows off, anti-aliasing off, textures low, effects low, and post-processing low. If you have these settings, it will give you the most FPS for the best settings. This is pretty much what every competitive player right now is using. So yeah, VSync, you obviously want to be turned off, because if you guys have never played with VSync on, it's terrible. I played for a couple games just to test it out. It's really bad. It feels like you're playing keyboard and mouse on PS4. The input delay is terrible. Motion blur is off because it's kind of obvious you don't want to motion blur show FPS. Doesn't really matter. I have it on. Allow multi-threading rendering, I have on. And then GPU crash debugging off, because if you have it turned on, I guess Epic can figure out why you're crashing, but it does hinder your performance a little bit. Now for the game, obviously you're going to have your region, all this. Movement, toggle sprint, I have off. Sprint by default is on. If you don't have sprint by default on, you've been obviously living under a rock for the past 8 seasons. Turn it on. It's so much better. Sprint cancels reloading, I have off. Auto open doors, I highly recommend turning on unless you're always accidentally opening doors, I guess. However, I don't know, it's convenient. Combat, hold to spot pickoff, I have off. Toggle targeting, I have off. All these are personal preference. However, toggle targeting is something that I think you should definitely have off. Mark danger on. Auto pickup weapons off. If you don't want to, this could be good. However, if you are worried about not getting the gun out of the chest in a 50-50, just turn on scroll wheel pickup. It's so much better than auto pickup. Auto sort some consumables to the right on is a really good early game, or even it's just convenient. Reset building choice on. It doesn't really matter now though. It more matters for the combat pro players. Turbo building, obviously, if you don't have turbo building on, you're not playing competitive, obviously, or I don't know. Confirm edit on release. This one is the most controversial one. I have it turned on because I've been playing with it since it came out. However, it's really personal preference, depending on how many edit binds you have and a lot of other things. But I have a single edit bind, and I've been playing with it since release, so I have it on. I have invert view off because that's kind of weird. And recording replays on. Record large team replays you should have off because it can reduce performance. And recordive mode replays, I recommend turning it off if you're playing in tournaments and stuff, or if your PC is having a little bit of trouble with frame rate. But I have mine on for thumbnails and just getting cinematics. Game UI, this is all personal preference. However, I recommend having pretty much everything. Your HUD scale, I recommend lowering it a little bit because 100% is a little bit too big, especially for me. Obviously, sensitivity is mostly personal preference. However, with this season and this meta, I think low sense is definitely the way to go with the charged shotguns and even the SMGs. So yeah. Controller options, I have no idea what these are. I don't play controller on PC. Volume, I have my music turned all the way off just because I think it's kind of annoying. I have voice chat method on open mic. Keybinds obviously are all personal preference. However, if you guys want to get optimal keybinds, I recommend watching It's Jarian's video on optimal keybinds. And then this doesn't really matter. So yeah, so that's going to do it all for today's video, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed this. I know it's a little bit of a shorter one. However, I was kind of rushed to make this. However, my next 2 videos will be longer, and there'll definitely be some bangers. So yeah, stay tuned. And for that, I'm out. Peace.